What's up, summoners? King Blair here. Today we're going to be taking a look at Arena and how to build that Arena defense the best you can do it. So right now, I haven't seen a lot of guides up, and I just wanted to give a little bit of touch on what it means to have a good Arena defense. I personally don't have the best, but I've fought against so many arenas, and I see what works, I see what doesn't. Of course, I'm a challenger player. I do have a general idea of what I'm doing. I do want to get to champion, but there's a couple of units I still need to run to be able to defeat this guy, like to be able to go higher up and potentially even get to legend one day. But let's talk a little bit about what makes a good arena defense. So to do that, we're first going to look at the top arenas. You got to look at the best players, see what they're doing, why it works, and analyze that. And then that's how you can dissect. So we're going to be looking at first the top three, and then we're going to look a little bit further down at other people that are doing stuff. So on the top first, you see that first unit right there. That's Crowell. He's a very big tank that can do a lot of damage, provides defense buff, and can one-shot units when he gets low. Second unit is considered to be one of the best support units, if not, or not support units, but tanks, if not the best tank, with a third skill that has 100% chance to provoke, 100% chance to defense break, and people build her super high accuracy. She moves super fast and heals. Third slot, we got Rule, light and dark like 5, who's an awesome unit to be able to just revive and heal and just keep your team healthy. And last, we got Diane, which is probably, I want to say, the best support unit. She provides crit resistance, she provides attack, she provides barrier, she dispels debuffs, she does everything in support. So already you can start seeing that arena defense is not necessarily about doing big damage quickly. It's about grinding your opponent down. That's the biggest thing. Like, a lot of these have the similar idea where you don't just want to one-shot your team. Like your arena offense, yes, it's all about one-shotting the enemy defense or just completely obliterating them. Arena offense. For arena defense, it's more about grinding it out, taking out big threats to you while keeping your team healthy. So that brings us to the number second spot, which picked a more aggressive team comp. But even at the end of the day, it makes sense why they did such a thing. So again, you see Falconeer Clury. She's probably like, I should have put her in my thumbnail because she hands down, her and Diane are probably number one units to just run in arena defense. They're just awesome, especially Clury, who's like a free. You should definitely build her. She's super fast. That's their strongest suit, is that she's so fast. Clury is the first one that you see on the number 2 player. That's Clury, in case you guys didn't know. She has one of the highest base speeds. It's disgusting going against her. She gets so many heals up. She gets so much rage up. She does so much for the team. That's what you will see her almost in every single team. I say almost because not all teams have her, but a lot of the top players have her. The second unit you see is actually Euphine. I do have one right now, and I can tell you that has a similar idea as units like Sid and units that are kind of like that they go fast, and their one job is to completely obliterate the damaged units. And one of the biggest benefits that Euphine has is that she's Earth. So you see that she has a Diane, right? Diane, we talked about her before. She puts barriers, she puts attack buff, she puts crit resist, right? People want to take her out as fast as possible and want to take teams that have her as fast as possible. And with the new unit, Diane, you see he has Diane, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit too, why she's there. Diane's probably one of the best arena offense and one of the better arena defense units that are out there right now. But basically the reason he has her there, the Diane and the Euphine, is because everyone runs Diane for attack buffs and for barrier protection, arena offense or defense. Everyone in their grandmas is running Diane. I don't have a Diane. I've still made it to challenger, but all these top people have a Diane. They're gonna use her. They're rune well. Everyone in the top has a Diane. It sucks that it was a limited unit, and if you didn't start playing the game at the time, it can be rough. But you're not completely out of the cut. Like, she's busted, but people are finding like counters to her, and one of them is Diane. Of course, she's another 5-star hero, but at least she's not an event exclusive. You can get her even in the regular summon once the event ends, so you can still get lucky and hope to get her. But Euphine takes care of the biggest threat to Diane, because Diane breaks barriers. But if you have a Euphine that's ruined really fast, I guarantee you this Euphine's probably like over 200 speed and probably like her artifact is for speed, or some, like, I forgot which. It's a 3-star artifact that just gives you straight up speed. But her job is to take out Diane and the people that run their cesses for arena offenses. Because Yufine has a 3rd skill that stuns, does damage if the enemy is buffed, and removes all buffs. So it's literally like a one-shot wonder. Yufine is there to make sure that if they have a Diane and Keys, you're taking out the Keys super fast, or the Diane super fast in one shot. And they have to run the risk that if they bring that water unit that can counter the rest of your team, they run the risk of Yufine just completely obliterating them. So that's why I think I know he's running Yufine for, because Diane is such a prominent unit, and the only counter for that in attack is going to be that Keys that you see on the right. And he runs the Keys, of course, to counter Diane's. So again, very solid team. And then I could keep going, but you can kind of see a trend on these top arena offenses that they're just using like insane, like, speed. All these units are probably super fast. They just want to get a first turn disruption and then just sustain the fight out. That's their biggest goal. Like, let's go a little bit lower, since, you know, not everyone is as OP. So let's just go a little bit lower to like the number 69. So he's a challenger. Like, getting the hundreds, you start getting to challengers. So let's start looking here. Not as many people have Diane, because actually everyone has Diane. Who am I kidding? Holy cow, everyone has Diane. Let's see if there's a defense without Diane. All right, I saw one right there. Oh, man. There's 2. Okay, there's one right there with Judith. That's an interesting one. I think he's trying to tank. And then there's one right above him, which is the more aggressive ones that I've seen before. But again, it makes sense what they're doing. So let's take a look at the number 93, because I think they have a really good meta counter type of defense, which is also, that probably is also his offense, because that's an insane offense. So what you see right there is probably his arena offense, but he's putting it in the defense because he probably has better runes. Like, his Shuri is probably out of this world. And if you get outsped by a Shuri, you lose. So you're starting to, like, outspeeding your opponent as arena defense. It's amazing, especially when you have a Dominio. Dominio, I have one. I've been blessed to have one, and she just, she obliterates single target units like there's no tomorrow. One shot, they're gone. Like, if you get a crit, like, if she gets to go, she's going to be one-shotting your unit. And if she doesn't, you have the Vildred to just finish out the job. And you also have the attack buff from the Yuna. So this is a very aggressive defense, which is not like the other ones we've seen, which is rare, but again, it works. So you have your stall offenses, as we saw with the number 1 and number 2, that are very poke oriented, and then you have those like that one, and then you have the ones that are more control oriented with the number 89. So he actually has assess, which is one of the only defenses that has assess. There's one right there, but very few units have assess. I think they put him there because it's just probably their best rune unit, but again, for the number 89, they also have an idea with their team. They have the Sid, which is actually what's carrying their arena defense. So the Sid is helping to, again, he's grass. He's going to one-shot the biggest threats to Diane. And also that Dark Rose is making sure that they get the first turn. So again, that's the other type of team that's the control. So, but now let's talk. You know, not everyone has these OP units, right? So let's go to my arena defense. And you guys are going to call me a hypocrite because on the thumbnail, I put that, you know, don't put your Cesses in there. But again, Cess is not, I'm not saying he's bad. It's just, you have to have a purpose for him. And everyone thinks just because they have a Cess and a healer like I do, that they're going to win. So I actually don't have a good arena defense. And that's because when I was coming into arena, I was a really big noob. I kind of got carried by my Shadow Rose because I thought I ruined her decent. Now she's not ruined as well. I'm not getting as many wins. And that's why I'm building units like Dominio and things like that for my arena offense. That's a completely different topic for the offenses. And I have my Yufine. But let's talk about units you can use for your defense that are extremely, extremely good. So first, let's just talk. Let's say you want a defense. So one of your units, regardless of what you want, like you saw all the other people, you want one solid tank in the front line. someone that's gonna tank, that's gonna disrupt, that's gonna be there and be annoying. For me, that's Queen Cece. It doesn't have to be Queen Cece. You can also do Clury. I don't have my Clury built. It's something I'm trying, like it's on the process of being, but there's a lot of other things. I'm more focused on Abyss. But Clury, definitely, once I build her, she's gonna be in that slot. She's that annoying tank that is just so annoying to deal with. You could also even use Phyllis, your dark tank, who's just gonna be adding shields and barriers, and it's gonna be so hard to deal with and so annoying because they're just so tanky and they keep provoking. That's what you want in one of your slots and what most people do. On your other slot, which I personally think it's a must, and I'm surprised people don't, all people don't have it, but most people do, and the people that don't, it's because they have insane tanking capabilities. But the second slot depends on your team and what you have. So that's actually, let me take out the other one so we don't get distracted here. So the next, so you have your big tank, right? Let's just say I use my Phyllis. Let's put Clury to make it look so you can see that it's you can also make it a little bit more free to play. Even though Phyllis is kind of free to play since it's a 3-star, you'll eventually get her, but you never know. The next thing you need for a really good defense is either a support. So one of the biggest things you want in your support, if you have a Diane, there's no reason you shouldn't be running her as your support. If you don't have a Diane and you want it, then you probably want to get first turn. You're not going to be able to build these OP defenses that you saw the top 5 guys have. You're gonna have to go with more of a faster disruption set. So to do that, you need someone that's gonna give attack bar. So I know she gets a lot of hate, and I know she's being nerfed really hard, but Tiara is still a really solid option for the people out there that are free to play that don't have an attack bar buffer. So this slot needs to be a support. If you don't have a support, you're gonna have to go with another option, which is gonna be the attack bar buffers, because that's what's gonna guarantee you turn 1 and what's gonna guarantee you your wins in defenses and that free low. So Tiara is the free to play version. If you have her, you need to build her extremely fast, like just drop everything speed on her, get her like leader skill. You'll eventually get 8 of her, have that extra 8 speed, and try to get that first turn. It doesn't matter if the rest of her kit, if the rest of her equipment is garbage, if she's fast. If you can do that, then that's great. You're set in your attack bar buffer. On the other hand, if you are a little bit luckier, you can put people like Rose. Rose also increases attack bar, and she's tanky and annoying to deal with. So she actually fills this role really, really well and can fill that support slot for other people. And then, of course, the king of attack bar buffing, and honestly, the unit that if you have, rune him up fast with 100% crit rate, and he will carry you in arena. I can pretty much guarantee it. I'll make a video on him once I finish runing him properly and make him fast to show you guys just how OP Shuri is, like how underrated he is in all contents of the game. I honestly think he's like the best attack bar buffer, and he's gonna guarantee you his base speed is nuts. If you have his leader skill maxed out, there's no reason you should be losing either offense or defense, because he's gonna go first every time and guarantee you that crit to make sure you go first. Other characters that can fill the slot for people that are like, lucky with their light and dark like me, you can either put Dominiel, who has a 3rd skill that increases attack bar, or, of course, another top tier arena defense unit and offense, Dark Rose, which also, the problem between her and Shuri, why I personally think Shuri is better in this scenario, is because Shuri is faster. His base speed is faster and his second stat is faster. If you have both, that's also viable. But we'll talk about that when we get to the 4th slot. So let's just say for now, you probably won't have those dark units, but if you do, they can definitely take up that slot. They both have really good attack bar buffing capabilities and then follow-ups. So I'm just going to keep Shuri for now. That 3rd slot is going to go to your assassin, is what I like to call. Not necessarily an assassin class, but the person that's going to take out your threats. So right now, as we mentioned, the biggest threats in Arena are going to be Cess, because Arena offense, a lot of people run Cleave Cess. Your other big threat is going to be the Keys, which is the new event unit going on right now. That's like the girl with the scythe. And Diane, because Diane's going to buff their team up. So this is where you sneak in your assassin. The best unit I personally feel that's just, this unit, honestly, I need to build it. Every time I go against him, I lose. Is Sid. All his damage is based on speed. You can build him super fast, and his base speed I think is like 124 when fully awakened. So he's gonna be taking first turn for sure, even probably before your Shuri. If you can make your Shuri faster, that's awesome. You should. If you can make your Sid faster, that also fills it out. You can make him way faster, and he can take out a threat, and then your Shuri can follow up for the rest of your team to come in. But this Sid honestly is gonna take one shot any threat to your team, and that's what you want. People aren't going into arena offense bringing 4 damage dealers. And if they are, they're going to be in a lot of hurt because you have that Clury and your 4th unit, which we haven't discussed. But they're going to be in a world of hurt if they think they can just, unless they have a team that's faster than yours, you're going to win. If your Sid is nuts, you're going to win. Again, I mentioned that you can't use Cess, but for the people out there that have a really well-runed Cess and a really well-runed Shuri, you can run Cess for this slot. He also serves an assassin slot, but again, he's not going to take out the big water threats. He might go for like a tank. Like if someone in the offense, like if I see a Cess and I put like, even if I put like my CC, if I put her in the front, there's no way they're going to be able to kill me when I go against them. You know, like I'll be able to just rip through them. So personally, I think you need an assassin. The other assassin, of course, that we mentioned before in another defense is Domino, because you can, instead of building her a fast set, you can build her a full damage set, so that when Shuri attacks, and then Clury attacks, and then Domino comes in, and then just wrecks the enemy team, yeah, that's also an assassin unit. Other assassin units are, again, Yufine. You can also use light and dark units like Wonder Silk. She'll definitely take a unit out. You can even use units as like Karen, but Karen is a little bit, again, it's a water unit. You want something that's earth. That's why Sid, personally, for me, feels the best job. Let's talk about free-to-play people. This unit can also be your Kamina Rose. That's going to go in there. And another one that stands out in this slot is Larina. She honestly is the unit that if you're completely free-to-play and you have garbage luck, this is who you're putting in there, right? So this is who you're putting. That's going to be your second slot, is going to be that assassin. I personally feel Sid is the best of this slot, but Larina also does really, really well. And now lastly, that 4th slot is someone that can either provide shields or heals or sustain, and can also be a tank and an annoyance and a buffer. So that slot is definitely, like, depending on what team you have, it's very team dependent. But typically, like for me, let's say like this is what I have. I'm going to put my Crimson Armin in there. They're going to be, my Shuri's going to go, my Larina's going to go, my Clury's going to go, and then my Crimson Armin is going to give my whole team immunity and invincibility. And that's GG. If I can go first, I win. It's over. So that's over. So that's what your 4th slot is someone that's just insanely annoying. This can also be a slow Destina. If you put a slow Destina and then they start hitting you and then you heal the whole team up, there's nothing they can do about it. This can also be even Ross. I'm kidding. Ross is not that good, guys. Please don't build him. This can also be Leo to add a little bit extra disruption to your team. Make sure that everyone's getting messed up. You know, making sure that everyone's taken care of. It can be a Missy-chan to make sure that your team can revive, because if she gets her 3rd skill off, everyone has arrived. You know, you're making sure your team is alive. It can even be an Adley, because Adley will put the cooldown down. So you just want someone that's an annoying debuffer in this slot, like kind of like a pseudo tank unit, and kind of like the bait where people will try to go for that unit first, or a unit that can protect. So again, if you have someone that has any form of shield, that definitely slot can go to them. So let's just go for the free-to-play. Like, let's say you're super unlucky, you have 0 5 stars. This is honestly the best defense you can probably have in this game. If you're a free-to-play, completely free-to-play, completely garbage luck, have 0 4 stars or 5 stars. This is optimal arena defense team. You have Clury tanking, disrupting, going fast. You have Tiara giving you turns, trying to go first. Of course, it's kind of hard when she has such a low base speed, But again, being that annoying force, you have Elson buffing and healing your team, making sure you're staying alive. And you have Larina just completely obliterating their units, making sure that you actually are getting kills instead of stalling out. If you have a Diane, the stall out option might be better. But as you can see, that's what you gotta do, you know? Like, this is the best team. I'm gonna go back to my team. I broke some of the rules, but that's just because, again, if you have better equips, if you're more interested in Arena, you can use units like that. But for me, this works decent. I still have to keep the Shadow Rose. I might switch the Destina out for my Crimson Armin. And this is probably gonna be my Arena defense. And it's gonna get me Challenger. I'm not gonna drop. I've been getting some decent wins with it. With the Destina, I've been trying to have the Armin. But that's personally, guys, that's my guide on how to build your Arena defense and just building a solid team. And before we go, you know, I got a little surprise for you guys. I got a little quick Moonlight Summon. I've been saving up for this one. I don't expect anything, but if we do, it's gonna be hype. We're gonna get litty. But you know, maybe a 3-star. They're still a good 3-star. So let's just roll it out. Let's see if we get something, a little bit something for people that stayed all the way till the end. And we get a 3-star. But let's see if it's a good one. You know, you never know. It could be trash, but that's kind of trash. But it's fine. It was fun, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed the Moonlight Summon. And that's all I got for you guys.